Joining us now is former Six on Your Side sports director, a very familiar face here to the Treasure Valley, Paul Gerke. And the reason we have Paul on, because Paul just recently moved to the Big Apple, New York City, where he works and lives. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, Don. It's always nice to see your face. Yeah, just moved to New York a few weeks ago, so this is an odd homecoming for me. I guess it's better this way because I don't really have a benchmark for what normal is supposed to look like. But
Well,
I know
this is the true
not how New York
definition
City
of
operates.
this is the true definition of social distancing right now between you and
Yeah.
I. You don't have to go into details, but where you work now, how are they taking the precautions needed to get all you folks in there? Because it's, I understand, a new operation.
Yeah, I know we're not supposed to talk about other networks besides the lovely one that we're appearing on right now, but I work at NBC News, so we're based out of 30 Rock, right in the middle of Manhattan, and it is an enormous operation with thousands and thousands of people, and that building is now effectively a ghost town. It was bizarre. I went in there today to grab something from my office and get a coffee in the cafeteria, which is still open, although in a limited capacity, and there were like 2 people in there that weren't security guards. NBC says 90% of its workforce is now working remotely, which is just nuts to me because that was not the case a few weeks ago when I was in there. It's a bustling hive of activity. It's one of the biggest news operations in the world, and there's nothing going on there. Everyone is working from home.
The city is known as the city that never sleeps. You know, the New Yorkers, they got this reputation of having this attitude. So what's the vibe like in New York? I know you haven't been there that long, but I mean, what's the feel on the streets?
Yeah, so I've been to New York. Thanks for asking me what's hip in the streets, Don. I'm glad that I still got a little street cred out there in Boise. No, it's empty. I mean, it's bizarre. I actually shot something for my high school journalism class today. They're sort of checking in with all their alumni and all the places we've been scattered to. And I walked through Times Square and shot a video for them, and I was undisturbed. I mean, at any given time, even right in the middle of Manhattan, there's maybe you and one other person on the sidewalk. They've got police doing patrols in the really busy areas, but I'm not even sure what they're patrolling for. There aren't people out there. It's like a zombie movie, Don.
I was just going to say,
it does.
Like an apocalyptic zombie movie of sorts. What about Central Park? I mean, that's always bustling with people, and people say, okay, it's okay to go outside as long as you keep that 6 to 8 feet between you. Are people even backing off from Central Park?
I'm living in Hell's Kitchen, which is about 1.5 miles south of Central Park, and I've been up there a few times since I moved, and I will say that is the one place where I've seen big groups of people, but they're all kind of minding their own business. I think the people out here are really taking the social distancing and the flattening the curve concepts seriously, which is good, but that doesn't mean they don't want to be outside, and there are still people running in the streets and things like that, but they're not together, you know? There's no frisbee tossing going on in the park. There are people there, but they're all sort of minding their own business. And I guess that's a good thing. That's the way we've got to live for these next few weeks.
That has to be tough for New Yorkers in such a dense population, dense area to live. What about the public transportation, the subways and trains?
Now, let me tell you, Don, I am not a subway expert. And a couple weekends ago, when I got on there by myself for the first time, I took the wrong train twice in a row. So yours truly has been trying to stay away. That said, the people that I know that have to take public transportation to and from Manhattan tell me that it is usually just them and doctors and nurses, and that's it. Everyone has a seat to themselves. There's no, theatrics and standing like you would typically see on a subway. A lot of the nonsense has sort of been cut out. There's just not people using it.
Yeah, who knew that you would go from the sunny, hot desert of Arizona right into the epicenter of the coronavirus in just a matter of weeks?
That's just my luck, Don. That's the way I roll.
Okay, Paul Gerke, former sports director here, familiar faces I mentioned off the top. Hey, Paul, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I wish we didn't have to do it under these circumstances and conditions, but we appreciate you joining us and sharing what it's like to be living in the Big Apple right now.
Hey, next time I'm in town, the first drink at Terry's is on me. I'm going to make you sing some Johnny Cash when we do karaoke together.
I believe Terry's is closed, for your information right now.
Forever?
No, not forever. This is a mandate by the mayor.
Oh, okay. All right. As long as it's not permanent.
Everything will be reopened. By the time you get back here, we hope that we're all back to normal. We'll keep our fingers crossed. So, Paul Gerke, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem.